So once you feel comfortable drawing that ellipse shape, we're going to go back and look at the image again. And we see that that very same shape is at the top of this vessel. So on your drawing paper, I want you to draw an ellipse at the top of that so that it's larger in the center and more narrow on the edges. And it's okay, I went over this a few times. I'm going to make it now a little bit darker so that you can see. You don't necessarily need to make yours any darker. I just want you to be able to see what I'm doing. So now that you've got that initial opening, we're going to look at the sides of the pot and the contour of this vessel. You notice that from the lip of the pot, it comes in. So very carefully observe that and bring that in. And now you're going to turn and it immediately begins to swell. And we've got a nice big pot here. Nice round vessel. And a couple of lines there, that's quite all right. Don't worry if you need to do 2 or 3 lines. Now before we do the other side, let's take a look at this. If we did a line down the middle, is it the same on the other side? Well, it is, and we call that symmetrical balance. So now I want you to come back to the other side, and we're going to very carefully try to do the same thing. But please know that this is much more difficult drawing the second side than the first side, and it is more difficult for almost everybody, including experienced artists. But again, that lip begins to narrow. It comes in, giving your idea of where it's going to narrow here. Maybe a little bit lower, maybe more like there. And then the pot begins to swell. Get nice and big. Bigger than that, I think. Again, I'm going to have a couple of lines going on there and then bringing it back down to the table. So I'm just trying to get my basic body of the pot here. By the way, pots are like people. This is the body of the pot, this is the neck of the pot, and the lip of the pot, shoulder of the pot, and the foot of the pot. Now, mine does not look symmetrical, so I'm going to work on this a minute. One of the things that you can do to check that is you can look at it in a mirror, or you can look at it upside down. Oh, and goodness, when I look at this upside down, I immediately see that I need more body of the pot over here, and that's okay because I'm going to add value to that later on, and maybe a little bit less on this side. So I'm going to tweak that some there. So you can work on the body of your pot, noticing that you want the pot to be in about the proportion that we're looking at. It's taller than it is wide. So check your proportion. Is your pot taller than it is wide? And work on the symmetry of the contour for a few minutes, and then we'll come back in a second.